Hello, my name is Cleverly Jones and welcome back to my channel. Can you imagine being asleep in the middle of the night and being violently awakened? This video explores a perplexing kidnapping that took place on Mare Island in Vallejo, California. We get Aaron Quinn, who recounts his story of when his girlfriend Denise was taken in the middle of the night by kidnappers. Aaron reports that kidnappers came into his bedroom, violently woke him up with a light. They tied him up and took his girlfriend. This story is the basis for a documentary on Netflix called American Nightmare. Today we will be discussing episode 1 called The Boyfriend. So we're introduced to Aaron Quinn. He's in the interrogation room speaking with the cops, recounting his story of what happened to him and his girlfriend. Aaron is being interviewed by Matt Mustard. He's a police detective. During this police interrogation, Aaron is very forthcoming. He wants to provide all the information needed so that his girlfriend could be found. Aaron begins to recount his story. He says the kidnappers knew him by name and ordered him to get down on his knees. The kidnappers make Denise, Aaron's girlfriend, tie him up. Denise places Aaron's hands behind his back, gives him blacked out goggles and place them over his eyes. They put headphones on Aaron, which are playing wind chimes music. Aaron then says the kidnappers took his blood pressure. They gave him NyQuil and diazepam. He says the kidnappers were wearing wetsuits. Now at this point in the documentary, I'm thinking that Aaron is lying. It just seems really off. It seems to be really off that the kidnappers would be wearing wetsuits. Also, it seems off that the kidnappers would let Aaron know what type of drugs they were giving him. Like, why would they give him this information? So at this point in the documentary, I felt like Aaron was lying, but I may be right, I may be wrong. Aaron goes on to report that the kidnappers said that they were not there for him, that they were actually there for his ex-girlfriend, Andrea, which is a lot of information being shared between him and the kidnappers. The kidnappers did request from Aaron that if he paid them $15,000, that they would bring Denise back and they would go away. Aaron says that the kidnappers have him on film. Then he states that they took Denise away in the car. The documentary cuts to Denise's mother, Jane Huskins. They let her mother know that Denise had been kidnapped. Mike Huskins, Denise's dad, said this was his worst nightmare. Now at this point, the family is very suspicious of Aaron because they don't know him that well. The dad states that he never met Aaron, and also Denise's brother, Devin Huskins, also states he never met Aaron. So their antennas are up because they don't know this guy. So they think he might be involved in Denise's kidnapping. At this point, we get to Lieutenant Ken Park. He holds a press conference. During the press conference, he discusses the kidnapping. However, suspicions surround Aaron as he didn't report the kidnapping until 12 hours later. During the press conference, Park reports that they are working with Aaron diligently to try and track down the kidnappers. Now, Aaron states that he didn't report the kidnapping because the kidnappers told him that they had a camera on him and that if he made any contact with the police, they would kill Denise. Before Aaron reported the kidnappers were in contact with him. They were requesting $15,000. However, Aaron texts the kidnappers back and he let them know that he could only come up with $3,500. And at this point, he hadn't heard from the kidnappers for a while. I think he said 20 or 30 minutes or so. So that's when he got nervous and he decided then at that point to contact the police. We get to a scene with Mary Ann and Joe Quinn. These are Aaron's parents. They went to the police station to see what was going on. However, once they got there, they were not allowed to see Aaron. Aaron's parents give a little bit of his background. They state how he was a good kid and he was a captain of the football team when he was in high school. They had only met Denise one time, so they actually didn't have a bond with her either. And I thought it was weird for the couple to be so close, but their parents really didn't know their significant others. They didn't know them. The mom reports that she was not jazzed about Aaron dating Denise, and it was because Aaron just recently got out of a relationship with his ex, Andrea. She's later introduced into the documentary. The relationship between Aaron and Andrea ended badly, so the mom felt like Aaron should take some time to himself before jumping into another relationship. So we cut back to the police interview. Aaron is still recounting his story. He says Denise came over around 6 o'clock that evening. They had a couple of beers and a cocktail. Aaron admits to the cops that he has sort of a messy work situation. He admits that he works with his former fiance, Andrea. Because of this, the police brought Andrea in for questioning. She admits that the relationship between her and Aaron ended on very bad terms. Aaron had found out that Andrea was cheating on him. And then she throws in there that she thinks that Aaron was open to getting back with her. They had a very interesting work dynamic. They worked at a physical therapy department within a hospital. Aaron worked there, Denise worked there, and also Andrea worked there. So it was a love triangle at the workplace. Andrea admits there was some tension between her and Denise. She said that she would say hi to Denise and Denise wouldn't respond back, wouldn't say anything to her. Aaron states that some of the reasons behind that was that Denise found text messages between him and Andrea, and the text messages stated that he was open to getting back with Andrea. So Denise knew at that point that Aaron was at the very least having an emotional affair with Andrea. So at this point during the investigation, both federal and local law enforcement begins to search for Denise. However, no one really believes Aaron's story. They really find it difficult that nobody heard anything, nobody saw anything. Like, they found it weird that kidnappers would bust through your house in the middle of the night and no one saw anything. People begin to think that Aaron actually killed Denise because she found out about him and Andrea, and that he tried to cover it up by saying that she's been kidnapped. Now, the cops don't believe Aaron at all. They think that something sinister happened. Well, something sinister did happen. Denise got kidnapped, but they think that Aaron killed Denise, and the cops think something happened in the bedroom. They find blood. So they don't believe Aaron at all, and they think that Denise is dead at this point. At this point, the cops ask Aaron to take a lie detector test. He takes the test and he fails. Aaron then asks for a lawyer and starts to proclaim his innocence. We're introduced to Dan Russo, who is Aaron's defense attorney. He states that Aaron was in the police station for 18 hours. We're also introduced to Amy Morton. She's Dan Russo's partner. She also finds Aaron's story hard to believe. However, Aaron proclaims his love for Denise. He states that when he called the cops, he thought there would be this huge manhunt for Denise and that, they would find her and get her back. He didn't know that he would be interrogated and looked at as a suspect. So Denise's dad, he takes the first flight out to Vallejo, and when he gets there, he makes a press report asking for his daughter to be brought back home. After that press report is released, an audio file is emailed to crime reporter Henry Lee. In the audio file, Denise says that although she has been kidnapped, she's otherwise fine, and she doesn't sound distressed or anything. Basically, it's a proof of life audio clip. Henry then sends this audio file to the Vallejo police. At this point, they do know that she's alive. However, Detective Mustard still is very suspicious. He begins to question Denise's mother and her brother about Denise's background. Denise's mother admits that Denise was assaulted when she was a young child. And then the detective, when he hears this, he thinks that maybe Denise is trying to relive the thrill of being assaulted. And I'm like, how was that a thrill? Like, I felt that was very insulting to both the parent and Denise's brother. Even if that was something that he was thinking in the back of his mind, that wasn't something that he needed to tell the mother when her daughter is missing. The FBI also starts to think that Denise is behind her own kidnapping. So we cut to a scene. We're in Huntington Beach, California. Denise walks up to her dad's house. She was released by the kidnappers. Everyone is relieved that she came back home. However, everyone wants to know, why was she released in Huntington Beach, California instead of in Vallejo? The Vallejo PD holds a press conference. He states that they are no longer in contact with Denise's family, and they state that they do not believe the whole story, that they think that it was a hoax. He kind of disrespects Denise and states that they wasted valuable resources and police time. Everyone thinks that Denise may have done this as payback and being jealous of Andrea. So that's where episode 1 ends. Please come back for episode 2 and 3. Thanks for watching, and please comment and like the video.